Welcome. The creative revolution starts now. Let's review what we've covered so far. In episode 1, I said that most of us have vastly underestimated our own creative power. Then in episode 2, I pointed out that part of the reason for that is that our most important and overlooked creative power is our power to create the present moment, here and now. In this episode, we're going to put all of that together and relate it to creativity as you know it. In other words, what happens when you're creating something? Perhaps a work of art, an important discovery, an invention, something you're writing. There's a basic error that most of us make when it comes to our understanding of what happens when we create. Note the language that we tend to use when we're describing this activity. We say that we're engaged in the creative process. What is a process? The word is similar to procession, a march, moving in stages or steps towards a certain end or result. This implies that creating is work, that it's effort that we're exerting in the service of a goal or result. So we use language like work of art, suggesting that to create something is work. But what if it turns out that creating is really more like play than like work? The people whose art we admire, the people whose creations inspire us and uplift us, those people tend to describe their creative experience as play. Note that I say experience because when you're playing, there is no result that you're aiming for. This moment, what we're engaged in right now, is the be-all and end-all. The great art teacher Robert Henri would tell his students, the object isn't to make art. It's to be in that wonderful state which makes art inevitable. So if we shift our perspective on human creativity from an activity that we perceive as work to one that we perceive as play, everything changes at that moment. In the last episode, I shared a simple 3-word mantra that is very close to my heart. That mantra is, make now great. Make now great. The art that I practice, which I call inspiring, is the art of now. That is what I've spent my life exploring and researching. How do we make this moment, here and now, as great as possible? The thing that most of us tend to overlook about the creative experience is that the artist, the creator, is creating that experience. I recently asked a painter friend to describe how, where, and when he creates, and he was very specific. People know whether they create best in the morning or in the evening. Do they like a quiet space, or would they rather be in a bustling, noisy coffee house creating? There are as many variations on the creative experience as there are creative people. But the bottom line is this. If you practice the art of inspiring, the ideal is to create the greatest now possible. Make now as great as it can possibly be. When applied to human creativity, we're trying to create the greatest creative experience possible. Remember, the artist creates the creative experience. He or she puts the set of conditions in place that allow creativity to flow. When we apply the art of inspiring to the creative experience, what we're aiming for is creative inspiration, which is the greatest creative experience you can possibly have. This is where we're going with this series. I am thrilled to share with you the basic principles I have discovered for creating a great experience of now, whether that be a quote-unquote creative experience or any other experience, because the truth is that at every moment we are creating this experience of here and now. We're doing this in a number of ways. We make choices that put us in this situation. We also interpret the situation. That's such an important aspect of our creative power, is how we interpret and perceive of what is happening in and around us right now. When you apply the principles of inspiring to the creative process, your creativity is going to take off in ways you can't even begin to imagine now. Treat your creativity as play. Forget about the results. Don't be focused on an end product. Be focused on the experience you're having right now. Thank you for your time. We have a whole lot more to explore, so stay tuned.